I think the police shooting down black people is, I mean, for black people to complain about police shooting them down. I mean, I totally agree. I'm on this side. I'm black. I've been stopped, searched hundreds of times. I don't think it's nice. It's not nice. It doesn't feel nice to be harassed all the time. But wait a minute. You reach an age of maturity where it's time where you get old enough and you start saying, okay, when I was 20, 25, 30, it wasn't fair enough. I'm getting older now. Yeah, I'm 40 now. I'm saying to myself, but where's my parents? Where's my dad? Where's my mum? Like, regardless of what age you're at, like who raised me? And when you go back to these people, I went back to my parents for help with my son. They pretended to help me for good 2 years. They pretended a year. Well, about a year. They pretended to help, and the last minute, my stepmother, who had more dominance in the house than my father, she didn't decide. She knew what she was doing all along. Said, no, we're not taking him. At the very last minute, social services are handing me my son. She's saying, no, 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 it's not going to happen. Him and you can't stay here. And my dad, holding his dick in his hand, is just like, sorry, I can't do nothing. So I'm on her side. So think about it. Why wouldn't I be shot on the street? And then when I asked myself about my friends, because I speak to my friends, how's your parents? I was like, you won't believe what my mum did. I needed help with some professional thing or whatever, social service or something, and the mum went in there and did not help. I'm like, she did what? Yes, she did not help. Okay, that's one person, two people, three people. Then I start to look around. I live in South London. I don't know no couples that are mimicking their parents who are in a positive light. I don't. There's no one who's saying, my parents were always together, and I've left at home and I'm with someone. We've always been together, and I don't want to break up, and I want to do the same thing my parents have done, which is stay together, one marriage, keep it going all the way through. They've been together 40, 50 years, whatever, 30, 25, anything, any years that constitute to decades. Yeah, we've been together for 10, we've been together for 20. That doesn't exist. I live in South London. You cannot fool me that exists. So bearing in mind that my family are African, my friends' families are Caribbean, they both are reacting the same way. Regardless of the age, we've grown up with this idea that our parents are out here to sabotage whatever we try to do. We've got that in our system. Yeah? So if we've already got that in our system, why wouldn't the police shoot down black people, black young men? Why should they not? Why shouldn't they? You have no parent, you have no mother, you have no father, and if you do, you probably got a single mother, 9 out of 10, and the single mother is stressed out. My son's in jail. I'm gonna have to go out there and do this. So she's double stressed because the dad should be there taking that burden. Now she's got to come and rescue your ass out of jail or prison or wherever the hell you found yourself, going out there mingling with your friends, and still look after the kids that are at home, and still go to work, and still um, provide for the family in about a dozen different ways. So how's your mother going to cope with that? So you technically don't have a mother. If you've got a single mother at home, you technically do not have a mother because it's impossible for your mother to do all the chores and tick all the boxes without that help by her side. It's practically impossible. The chances of you practically growing up without a parent, you're just seeing your parent because your parent ain't got the time to give you to educate you and take you out of certain scenarios and situations you're going to put yourself because she's just outworked. So why shouldn't the police shoot down black boys on the street? Why? Your parent don't want you. Your mom don't want you. Your dad don't want you. Like, start to look at it on a global scale. Only black people's parents throw them out. The Chinese don't do that. If the Indians don't do that, white people don't do that. And if you look closely at these families who don't throw each other out, you will see that before they throw any member of the family out, they all come together and say, someone needs to go and speak to Zhong and Lee. Someone needs to go and speak to Bruce. Someone needs to go and speak to whoever it is. And black people do. We do. It does exist in black culture. We do have occasional families here and there that are really tight, that do stick together. And same thing happens. Someone needs to go speak to whoever it is, Jahim, Hakim, whoever it is, go speak to him because, your son or your cousin or your this. So you find the dad trying to speak to him, you find the mum trying to speak to him, you find the cousins trying to speak to him, you find a whole different type of people trying to speak to this individual that's veering off the path that they might want the family to go. There's a deeper level to that though, because there's like to look after your own family That's an ingrained sixth sense. Like, leave alone someone that looks like you. Like, a white man saving a random white man. Yeah, it's possible. But a white man saving his own son, you will see a certain venom that comes into him saving that son. Or Indian or Chinese. Like, you see a certain level of passion that goes to saving that individual. To black people, it's totally not, it's lacking. That's a natural sixth sense. Like, another sixth sense is a child crying. It's a natural sixth sense to be like, stop that child from crying, pick the child up, feed the child. Someone needs to do something. That's a natural sixth sense. Let's work through that. You've got well, how many other sixth senses have you got? You go to bed, you don't open your front door, leave it wide open. I know there's a time they say, oh, we used to leave our front door wide open. We used to leave our doors back in the days, back in the good old days, we used to leave our doors open. But your natural sixth sense is to lock your doors. No one wants to go sleep at night knowing that your door's open, and your neighbors down the road know that your door's open. Well, Mark comes in, you wake up to Mark looking at you, having a cup of tea, saying, oh, sorry, I just popped in to get some sugar. No one wants that. No one wants to wake up with number 26 in their house, going through their fridge. Say, I normally do this during the daytime, and I pop in and you normally let me have some milk. But I thought because you're sleeping and I really needed some milk, it's 4 in the morning, I thought I'd just pop in. No one does that. It's a sixth sense to just shut your doors. So look at how many other sixth senses that we naturally have. Cook food and takeaway. If you're lucky enough to have eaten cooked food and you're not unlucky to have grown up with takeaway, you would know the difference between when you're eating good food and when you're eating bad food. Like, that's a natural sixth sense. You've got that inbuilt in your system. Like, right, I feel better. I've been eating my veg and my fruits and my salad and I feel a lot better. I go to the gym and I feel better than when I didn't go to the gym. So there's certain natural things that kick into you. So I I I'm perplexed that a whole race of people, a proportion of that race, is happy to allow their children to go out there and not come back. They single mothers that can't wait for their kids to grow up and leave so they can go back to being what they was before they were mothers. Instead of the natural process, which is you're going to be a grandmother next. Your kids have grown, they spread the wings, they've left home. Right now that they've left home, it's still your duty to make sure they don't mess up and get into any problems and become single parents like you did. But instead, our system's like, yep, nope, you're grown up. Get out of my house. Get out of my house so that I can now enjoy my freedom. I've done my job. Now, not knowing or knowing, I'm not really sure. Your child's going to go through the same trauma you went through. But that doesn't seem to bother us. But then it bothers us when police officers shoot black children. I don't understand why that bothers you, but it doesn't bother you to make sure police officers don't shoot your black child by keeping an eye on them. Like, for staying in a relationship, because the man needs to be there to make sure that boy doesn't veer off. So we're quick to get rid of the man in a relationship. We're quick to divide each other. We're quick to use whatever it is to get away from each other. Then the child goes out there and the cycle continues. But that's a natural sixth sense to stop that. Where is that sixth sense to stop your child going out there and getting into harm